1 million people packed into one city. No soap, no toilet paper, no running water in their homes. By every rule we know today, Rome should have been a biological catastrophe. But here's what nobody tells you. A Roman citizen near the city center was probably cleaner than a French nobleman in the 1600s, cleaner than most Europeans in the 1800s, maybe cleaner than some people you know today. The Roman Empire had bathhouses that held 3,000 people, sewer systems so advanced they worked for 700 years, and a dental hygiene routine so weird it actually had science behind it. Disgusting science, but science. This is the real story of Roman hygiene, not the sanitized museum version, the actual, unfiltered, sometimes genius, often revolting truth. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at your toilet paper the same way again. Let's start with something the Romans actually got right: the public bathhouse, called the thermae. These weren't just places to wash your body. They were the ancient Roman version of a luxury spa, gym, social club, and community center all in one building. The Romans had 3 types of rooms: the frigidarium, a cold plunge pool; the tepidarium, a warm, gentle room to relax; and the caldarium, a scorching hot steam room. The Romans believed this process opened your pores, cleansed your skin, and kept disease away. Romans didn't use soap. Instead, they rubbed olive oil all over their bodies, then scraped the oil, sweat, and dead skin off using a curved metal tool called a strigil. Some historians believe this removed bacteria more effectively than simple water washing. The baths of Caracalla could hold 1,600 people, the baths of Diocletian up to 3,000. Entry was free or extremely cheap. Emperors subsidized the bathhouses because a clean population was a healthy, happy, and loyal one. Now, let's talk about Roman toilets, and I want you to prepare yourself, because this is where things get dark. There was no toilet paper. Romans used a sponge on a stick called a xylospongium. You used it, you rinsed it in a salt water channel, then the next person used it. The same sponge, the same stick, for everyone. And here's the truly mind-bending part. This was normal. Rich senators, soldiers, merchants, slaves, everyone used the same public latrine. It was a social space. People made deals, gossiped about politics, discussed the chariot races. The toilet was a networking opportunity. The Roman sewer, called the Cloaca Maxima, was one of the earliest large-scale sewer networks in the world. But here's the problem. Methane gas built up in the pipes. Sometimes it ignited from open flames nearby. Roman citizens occasionally suffered explosive toilet incidents. There are actual historical records of people being injured by sewer gas explosions while sitting down. Now, let's talk about teeth and breath, because the Romans had some unconventional oral hygiene habits. Romans cleaned their teeth using powders made from crushed bones, oyster shells, charcoal, and bark. Some wealthy Romans added myrrh for flavoring. Charcoal toothpaste is back in trend right now in health food stores. The Romans were accidentally ahead of their time. But the star of Roman oral hygiene was urine. Human urine, used as mouthwash. And before you say that's crazy, there is actual chemistry behind this. Urine contains ammonia. Ammonia is a natural whitening and cleaning agent. Portuguese traders actually imported urine from Rome specifically to clean and whiten teeth. It was considered premium quality. This was not a poor person's habit. This was luxury. Roman poet Catullus actually wrote poems mocking a man named Egnatius for his suspiciously white teeth, implying he used urine a little too enthusiastically. Even in ancient Rome, there was such a thing as trying too hard. Romans were obsessed with perfume and grooming, not in a casual way, in an almost militant way. Roman perfume was imported from Egypt, Arabia, and India. Ingredients included rose petals, myrrh, saffron, cinnamon, and a plant called nard. Nard was so expensive that one small jar cost an ordinary Roman worker an entire year's wages. Romans perfumed their homes, their military banners, and even their horses before battle. Emperor Nero reportedly spent the equivalent of millions of dollars perfuming a single banquet. Guests were showered with rose petals from hidden ceiling compartments. One source claims the petals fell so thickly that a guest actually suffocated. Roman barbershops, called tonstrine, were a major social institution. Being well-groomed was tied directly to Roman identity and status. Julius Caesar was obsessed with his grooming. He reportedly used tweezers to pluck individual hairs and despised going bald, which is why he wore his laurel wreath essentially all the time. For all of Rome's impressive baths and perfumed banquets, the average Roman city was still a profoundly unhygienic place, and the gap between rich and poor Romans was enormous. The Insulae apartment buildings had no toilets above the ground floor. Most ordinary Romans either walked down to use a public latrine or emptied their chamber pots directly out the window into the street below. Waste piled up, animals picked through it, disease spread. Roman medicine was a fascinating mix of genuine insight and complete nonsense. Romans correctly understood that clean water was vital to health, but they also prescribed pigeon blood for wounds and dog saliva for eye infections. Wine does have mild antiseptic properties. Pigeon blood, not so much. But here's what Rome truly got right: water infrastructure. At its peak, Rome had 11 aqueducts delivering over 1 billion liters of fresh water every single day. That's roughly 1 million bathtubs filled daily. Roman plumbing and water engineering wouldn't be matched again in Europe for over 1,000 years after Rome's fall. Ancient Rome was a civilization of breathtaking contradictions. They built the most advanced water system the ancient world had ever seen, and then used communal sponge sticks on shared toilets. They imported million-dollar perfume from the edges of the known world and dumped sewage out of apartment windows. The fall of Rome didn't just mean the fall of an empire. It meant the fall of public hygiene infrastructure that wouldn't be rebuilt for centuries. Medieval Europe would become far dirtier than Rome had ever been. Next time you flush your toilet or turn on a hot shower or reach for your toothbrush, just know that you are living in luxury that a Roman senator could only partially dream of. You have toilet paper, individual toilet paper, yours, just for you. The Romans, for all their genius, never quite figured that part out. Ancient Rome, filthy, brilliant, perfumed, disgusting, and more human than you'd ever expect. If you made it this far, you clearly love history as much as we do. Drop a comment. Which Roman hygiene fact shocked you most? The sponge stick, the urine mouthwash, the perfumed horse? Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.